took the little that I owned and packed a worn valise, left the old world to the mercies of the secret police.
Before we bring up our headliner, Nina, can you come on up, please? And I'm just going to start talking while she's making her way up. Former school board member Jill Ortman-Faust did make it here. She fell. She hurt her knee. She hurt her hand. There was an accident on the road, but she got here, and she's just my friend, and she's an awesome education advocate. Thank you, Jill, for being here. Delegate Lily Chi came. We are so blessed with so many advocates and activists in this area. So when I was starting this journey, the very first one, I was desperate for helpers because it was pretty scary to promise lots of money to pay the performers. Just to be clear, every time, every one of these performers has been paid. So many artists are just assumed to be willing to perform pro bono, like they don't have rents or mortgages or car payments or cell phone bills. Give me a break. Artists are to be valued and loved and appreciated and paid, and paid. So every year we've paid the performers, every year we've paid the causes, every year we've paid Montgomery College and the AV guys and the Sound and Light guys and all these folks, and it was a lot. And I was so lucky to turn to my friend, Nina Weisbroth, who used to be on the Rockville City Council, who had just left a tech company and was figuring out what's next, and she made the mistake of telling me she had a little bit of bandwidth. And so she was my partner that first year, and now she is on the staff of Congressman Jamie Raskin. And Jamie texted me, I should have read the text to you all, but he asked me to give you his love, and he is at home coughing and sneezing his brains out, and we need a healthy Jamie Raskin, and we need all of us to stay healthy. He didn't want to infect anybody. So I thought it was a wonderful twofer to showcase Nina Weisbroth, who helped to launch this the very first year, and who would just say a brief hello from Jamie. Nina.
Well, as Cheryl mentioned, she gave me just really an incredible opportunity to join her in this amazing, just amazing event, and to be able to watch this truly to grow and to develop. When we talk about blessings, the blessing that you have given to all of us, this incredible moment of hope where we get to spend a few hours together lifting our spirits for the last 4 years, and thank goodness this will be the last, because our spirits will be super lifted coming next year.
But
so
Jamie,
can't they? Yes.
Jamie,
So Jamie. So just as Cheryl mentioned, Jamie apparently has caught the scourge that appears to be going around to everybody and is not feeling very well. Nevertheless, he sends his hope and his light and his heart to each and every one of you. This is an extraordinary event that he has been at for the last 4 years and is desperately sad that he cannot be here. But he hopes that he just, again, extends his incredible love to each and every one of you. Well, thank you. Thank you, too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so how many of you have been listening to Tom Chapin for like ever and ever, right? Yeah. So a lot of you have asked me over the years, how do you know these artists? Because they're incredible, and I've never heard of these people. And where on earth did you uncover Rod McDonald, or Cynthia Kaplan, or David Roth, or Chris Matthews? And I go to these national music conferences, and there's a Folk Alliance International, which is coming up actually in just a couple weeks, but then there are regional conferences, and there's NERFA, which is the Northeast Regional Folk Alliance, and there are a lot of people in this audience. There are a bunch of us who do that every year, Scott and Paula Moore and Shelley and the Morses, and there are a lot of us who just find such joy in listening to music in teeny tiny hotel rooms at 4 in the morning. I kid you not, that is what we do. So it was at NERFA in November of 2016, the day after Election Day, or 2 days after Election Day, when I'm floating this idea, is this crazy to do this kind of gathering? And one of the people that I mentioned it to was Tom Chapin. And Tom said, I'll come down and play it. And it took 4 years for the stars to align. But this is a guy who's been singing for change and bringing love and joy and hope and talent, obviously, to stages and to audiences around the country and around the world. So to wrap up this evening, please join me in welcoming the wonderful Tom Chapin.
Let's put this over here. What an evening, huh? Oh, my goodness. I didn't know Chris Matthews at all. I didn't know Cynthia. I know Rod and David, but it's been a lovely evening. So I better be good, huh? If I were an apple, I'd be very unhappy, traveling 4,000 miles or more. From far off Tasmania in a shipping container to a shelf in a Rockville store. Why should I be tortured when some New York State, some Maryland orchard would be totally thrilled to the core? To pick me and crate me and load me and freight me not 4,000 miles but 4. An apple should be not far from the tree where it ripens in the fall. Locally grown and locally eaten is globally good, good, good for us all. That's your part. Locally grown and locally eaten is globally good, good, good for us all. Do it again. Locally grown and locally eaten is globally good, good, good for us all. And if I were a berry, I expect I'd be very contrary and hardly inclined to get shipped out from Chile to a store in North Philly. I'd have to be out of my mind. It seems paradoxic and carbon dioxic to force all our food to commute, wasting gallons of fuel which we know isn't cool for people or planets or fruit. A berry is fine, not far from its vine, near the farmer's market stall. Locally grown and locally eaten is globally good, good, good for us all. Play one. Yeah. So when you're walking the aisle past a beautiful pile of the fruit you might want to take home, do not buy for the table till you check out the label and determine how far it did roam. Aside from the karma of helping a farmer who lives in your county or state, there is one more good reason to buy what's in season. The taste is incredibly great. So keep buying foods from regional dudes. Keep your carbon footprint small. Locally grown and locally eaten is globally good, good, good for us all. Last chance. Locally grown and locally eaten is globally good, good, good for us all. Good, good, good for us all. Good for us all. I did not learn this music at my grandma's knee, but from some old musicians I never got to see. And I know them by their records, their voices, and their songs. I'm blessed to be with you tonight, to pass the music on. For the good times and the high times, through the suffering and pain, it's the song of generations singing in my veins. I still hear that old-time music of good friends now long gone. I am here tonight to pass the music on. Well, you know I'm not traditional and I've never claimed to be, but I come from a tradition that others made for me. They're still alive inside my heart, although they're now long gone. I like to think they trusted me to pass the music on. For the good times and the high times, through the suffering and pain, it's the song of generations singing in my veins. I still hear that old-time music of good friends now long gone. I am here tonight to pass the music on. And most of the songs I got tonight, I must admit I wrote. Others I've learned heart to heart instead of note by note. And now as I grow older and new folk come along, I'll help you out the best I can to pass the music on. Yeah. Well, I've sung these songs with some old friends I never will forget. And I've sung them with an audience of folks I've hardly met. So here we are together to celebrate the song. We'll sing and play our part tonight and pass the music on. For the good times and the high times, through the suffering and pain, it's the song of generations singing in my veins. I still hear that old-time music of good friends now long gone. I am here tonight to pass the music on. I am here tonight to pass the music on. We are here tonight to pass the music on. So I want to do a couple of new things. A friend of mine up in Canada last summer saw a bumper sticker that said, 2020, any functioning adult. So my friends Michael Mark and John Cobert, my wonderful band, we said, that sounds like what Tom Paxton would call a short shelf song. The problems in our country make a long, frustrating list. A great divide's engulfed us all, and everyone is pissed. The White House bar has sunk so low, the only good result is running and electing any functioning adult. Any functioning adult, any functioning adult is running and electing any functioning adult. The earth is getting warmer, floods and storms are everywhere. Our immigrants, once hopeful, are trembling with despair. We're so far from reality, we've entered the occult. Now what I wouldn't give for any functioning adult, any functioning adult, any. And what I wouldn't give for any functioning adult. A flock of worthy candidates are all there for us to choose. So get informed, go get involved. There's everything to lose. Our vision's 2020, so go out, it's not so difficult. So go out and cast your vote for any functioning adult. Ask Jen. Any functioning adult, any functioning adult. Go out and cast your vote for any functioning adult. And here's a song that seems to fit the evening. You know, I do a lot of writing with my friends, and this is my friend Cy Khan. Once in a while comes to New York, and we get together. He says, bring me some stories, and we get together and write a bunch of stuff, and then he leaves and says, you finish them. Well, this was a lyric from 2011, and I was just 2 weeks ago, I was looking at, what? And at the time, it didn't, I don't know what to do with this. And then 2 weeks ago, I found out what to do with it. See? I dreamed I was at the crossroad, a harsh wind at my back. Thought I saw the man himself come rambling down the track. Hard times at his shoulders, a worn case in his hand. Woody Guthrie stopped and said to me, I just don't understand. He said, I have seen the worst of times, folks scratching in the dirt. Mile-long unemployment lines and millions out of work. All those hungry women, all those desperate men. It seems history runs in circles, 'cause it's coming round again. In the middle of the night, I lay there in between, half asleep and half awake, caught up in Woody's dream. In the middle of the night, I found out what it means to hitch a ride on Woody Guthrie's dream. When I asked him what he dreamed about, he shook his head and smiled. A decent job for everyone, a home for every child, food for every family, a roof for every head. I guess that's what I dream about, Woody Guthrie said. From the Dust Bowl to the Rust Bowl, there's millions come to harm. The burned out inner cities and the shuttered family farm. The burned out, the bulldozed barren mountain tops to the bare blockaded streams. The rising seas and the refugees don't fit into my dream. In the middle of the night, I lay there in between, half asleep and half awake, caught up in Woody's dream. In the middle of the night, I found out what it means to hitch a ride on Woody Guthrie's dream. when fracking in your backyard is poison in your stream. And in some ancient forest you can hear a chainsaw scream, when fire and flood and hurricane are tearing at the seams. Don't despair, old Woody said, go on and live your dreams. Go and work and march together, demanding what you need. Speak the truth to power and call out corporate greed. Sing the story of the underdog, overworked and underpaid. Stand up proud, shout out loud, clear and unafraid. In the middle of the night I lay there in between, half awake and half asleep, caught up in Woody's dream. In the middle of the night I found out what it means to hitch a ride on Woody Guthrie's dream. I dreamed I was at the crossroad as Woody turned to go. He said, I am just a story now that you heard long ago. But when you wake up and get inspired by the history that you've seen, I'll be at your side so you can hitch a ride on Woody Guthrie's dream. We've had a number of people singing great songs about immigrants here. I took the little that I owned and packed a worn valise, left the old world to the mercies of the secret police. For 7 months I worked my way until I came at last to the seaport town where I finally turned my back upon the past. November's dark Atlantic seas turn rough and bitter cold. 14 days across the water, I was sick down in the hold. Then the word was passed, and out we tumbled on deck. I strained to see the great green lady of the harbor reaching up her hand to me. I heard the anchor splash, and there we were, so close, so far away. And all that night I watched the lights reflect in New York Bay. The rich folk got off early, but they made the steerage wait for the barge that finally took us to the place called America's Gate. Ellis Island, I haven't come here looking for your promised land. I don't believe your streets are paved with gold. But I know there's work, I know there's land, I know you need an able-bodied man. Inside all was madness in that crowded Great Stone Hall. When I reached the desk I was trembling, a uniform was all I saw. Do you have money? Is your family here? Are they residents? Have you ever been involved in the overthrow of a government? The questions came. I tried to answer yes, I think so, no. I felt faint, I began to sweat. My tongue felt thick and slow. A doctor checks my skin, my eyes. What else are they gonna do? Then he stamps my papers and I think, my God, I made it through. Ellis Island, I haven't come here looking for your promised land. I don't believe your streets are paved with gold. But I know there's work, I know there's land, I know you need an able-bodied man. I took a ferry to New Jersey and I stood there all alone amid the throngs of people heading places yet unknown. 16 tracks all pointed west and I will choose the one. I'm 26 years old and now my life has just begun. Ellis Island, I haven't come here looking for your promised land. I don't believe your streets are paved with gold. But I know there's work, I know there's land, I know you need an able-bodied man. It's interesting how you write songs. This was a song that I wrote with my friend Scott Ainsley one summer down at Common Ground on the Hill, which is a wonderful 2-week folk, I guess it's camp, you know. And what makes it different from most of the folk camps is that it's actually interracial. They have and what they've been doing recently is actually doing a songwriting workshop with vets. It's one summer, and I used to play the festival on the weekends, and then I had like a couple of gigs and I couldn't go down one year, and then the gigs fell through, and my wife and her family all went to England. The girls to go to the British Isles, and I suddenly had a full week empty. So I call up. Head, what's his name? Walt Michael, and I said, Walt, I want to come down and be part of the camp. And he goes, there's sort of silence, and he goes, Tom, I already have all my counselors. No, I want to be a camper. I want to take like banjo with Howie Burson and maybe some harmonica with you know, and he goes, oh, okay. So I did. Went down there, and I got there, and Scott Ainsley was doing blues workshops. And I said, Scott, Common Ground. I was thinking about it on the way down here. He said, that's a great metaphor. Is there a camp song? He goes, I don't think so. Well, let's write one. So we did. We wrote all week long. End of the week, I go running. I'm really excited about it. I run into the office, and Walt, sit down. I got a camp song for you. And I saw that look in his eye like, I hope this is good. Because what am I going to tell Tom? So I sang it to him, and he was fine with it. And I knew it was pretty good because the one of the secretaries was there. So this is a song that had, you know, this one little moment we wrote it for that, and I've been singing it, and I love the song. And then suddenly, in 2016, this becomes a song that's like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to hear these words? Come in, the door is open. You are welcome here. Come in, the door is open. Leave out all doubt and fear. We'll plant a seed together and together watch it grow and learn once more what we already know. Lift up your voice, rejoice in what we've found. Let every heart take refuge in the sound. Feel the walls around us tremble. We will surely bring them down and find ourselves on common ground. Find ourselves on common ground. This is how we celebrate our song and dance and art. This is how we touch the future, how we touch a heart. Tell your story to a child and they'll take it as their own. This is how we learn we're not alone. Lift up your voice, rejoice in what we've found. Sing that part. Lift up your voice, rejoice in what we've found. Let every heart take refuge in the sound. Let every heart take refuge in the sound. Feel the walls around us tremble. We will surely bring them down. Feel the walls around us tremble. We will surely bring them down and find ourselves on common ground. And find ourselves on common ground. Find ourselves on common ground. In our time together, I begin to understand there are bridges we can only cross together, hand in hand. Soon we'll head on homeward, we'll go our separate ways, but these echoes will be dancing down our days. Lift up your voice, rejoice in what we've found. I'll say it again. Lift up your voice, rejoice in what we've found. Let every heart take refuge. Let every heart take refuge in the sound. Feel the walls around us tremble. Feel the walls around us tremble. We will surely bring them down and find ourselves on common ground. Find ourselves on common ground. Common ground. It's been a wonderful night, hasn't it? There's a whole lot of folks to thank, but starts with Cheryl, and it also includes all her wonderful crew here, sound guys and light guys. And let's see, is it Charlie and Dave and Mike? I don't know all the rest of the names. But it's a wonderful thing to come traveling down here and be part of this community and this sense of possibility. And those folks over there who are just doing such wonderful work. It makes your heart soar. And I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you so much. If only fair were everywhere, we'd breathe it in like air, and everyone would share. If only fair were everywhere. If only we'd learn to share our bread, the whole world could be fed. There's plenty here to spare. If only fair were everywhere. Plenty of food, not enough share. Plenty of hurt, not enough care. Plenty of you, there's plenty of me. Not enough we, no, not enough we. If only life was like a game and the rules were just the same for maid or billionaire. If only fair were everywhere. The world is so big, we're pretty small. Hard to imagine changing it all. But let us begin, let us agree. I'll do unto you, you'll do unto me. And someday, someday, fair will be everywhere. We'll breathe it in like air, and everyone will share. Oh, someday, someday, when fair is everywhere, fair is everywhere. I took the little that I owned and packed a worn valise, left the old world to the mercies of the secret